about to leave. Already packing, come with me. I'm not.
Hello, friends and enemies. Welcome back to Happy For Now. It's me, Isabel here. I feel a little rusty. I've not filmed in like over a week now, and yeah, so I pre-filmed all of last week's videos pretty much, although when you all seen that, yeah. Anyways, I'm feeling a little rusty, but we're gonna get right back down to it because I have 20 books I read recently. So I was like, I'm gonna do these every 10, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh no, I'm at 10. Oh no, I'm at 15. Well, last 20, here we go. So this is a big list, a quite mixed list of titles, to be honest with you. So we are gonna cover the range from thrillers to middle grade books on this list and graphic novels, which is kind of fun. I've had a really great reading time in these last 20 books that I've read. But yeah, this is why I stopped doing mid-month wrap-ups or monthly wrap-ups in full, because it's a lot. I'm reading a lot again, and it's a lot to talk about. So let's get to it. First of all, I'm going to talk about the 5 thrillers I read for my video, where I read 5 thrillers direct to me by Charles from Books on Stereo. This is such a fun, I love this series. I'm very excited about it. I've already got 2 more lined up. And I just love the idea of my friends picking books for me to read that they think I might like. Maybe they're gonna pick books I hate. I don't know, like, it's their choice. It's nothing personal. So let's run through those. I'll link to the video in the description box if you want to check it out, and in the cards. As always, every single book I talk about is linked down below, at bare minimum to Amazon, and also sometimes also to Goodreads. Just depends on my time limits, time constraints happening when I film. There's also links in the description box to all of my accounts everywhere if you want to follow me anywhere besides YouTube. And if you want to join the Romance Booktubers group chat on Discord, there's a link to that. Anyways, all right, let's get to it. Books 141 to 160 that I have read so far. We are closing in on my 200 books for this year goal so fast. I actually didn't think I would be this far along by now. I had a minute where I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna hit 200 books this year even. But I mean, it looks like it's happening. As always, any and all reading is good reading, so remember that. All right, let's do this. No Exit by Taylor Adams. This was a 3.5-star thriller for me. I think I predicted a little too much of the plot, but I enjoyed how much it read like a movie. So that was fun. Then we have Lock Every Door by Riley Sager, which I gave a 4 out of 5 stars to. This is a really fun thriller set in a apartment building in New York City. I think it had really great setup and premise. It had a really great setup and premise, but I don't know, something about the ending just threw me. I think I might do a reading vlog where I read everything else Riley Sager has written to see if he's for me or not. I do get his mass appeal though. Next we have Miracle Creek by Angie Kim. This is a courtroom drama thriller, which is really fun because I've never read one like this before. I've heard about them. They just really never sparked my interest to pick up at the end of the day, so I picked it up. I really enjoyed this one. This was also a 4-star read. Then I read The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware, which was also a like 4.5-star read for me. I really liked the atmosphere of this book. So it may not be your traditional like jump out of your pants scary, like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have nightmares, but I felt like the atmosphere of the house and the setting was very good. And the reveal at the end I did not see coming in any capacity at all. Like, you know what happens. And I also like really enjoyed the format of us revisiting the actions through letters to a lawyer or barrister, because this is set in Scotland, if I recall correctly. So yeah, oh, and then last but not least, The Chain by Adrian McKinty was a 5-star thriller for me. It was like My Lovely Wife. It blew my pants off. I was shocked by it. I think the setup of like your kid being kidnapped and then you have to kidnap another kid to continue the cycle is really, really good. And I really love that premise overall. And it definitely like spooked me real good. But also, I am a big scaredy cat. Like, this is not my genre in any capacity. I just like dip my toes in and then I run away. So this video was perfect for me. If you want real-time reactions and spoiler thoughts, those are all in that video. Then I read Tycoon by Joanna Shupe. This is a quick Gilded Age novella that is forced proximity and a train car. She is on the run from the cops because she witnessed something she shouldn't have, and she ends up on this guy's train car. I cannot remember their names right now because of course I can't. And she's on the train from New York to St. Louis, and he helps her out. And so yeah, it's just really cute forced proximity novella. Very, very quick. So fun. Cannot recommend it enough. I love Joanna Shupe, and I'm very excited to continue my exploration of her backlist. Tycoon was a 4-star read as well. And then I listened to Ghost Squad by Claribel Ortega. This is also a 4-star read, middle grade adventure with ghosts, which this is my favorite kind of spooky book, okay? I love middle grade spooky. So like the V.E. Schwab books, the Tunnel of Bone series, I love that. That's my kind of spooky. It's really not that scary, and that's why I like it, because again, I'm a scaredy cat. But yeah, this is a 4-star read. I really loved the sense of place in this book and the world building happening, and it just was super cute. I just love witches in books and like a good middle grade adventure. Next, I read Captive Desires by Robin Lovett. This is book 2 in the Planet of Desire series. I'm almost done with this series. Actually, I have one more book left, and I loved this book. It is so good. So this one is an enemies to lovers. They are both actually like enemies in the sense of like they belong to opposing armies, but they've crash landed on this planet that makes your libido like go wild, and you have to do it to like be mentally stable. And like to like release this toxin that builds up in your system. So she doesn't want to, and he doesn't want to with her either, and he's like mourning a loss of a mate still, and it's like not been long enough for him to be mated again, but things happen. So freaking good. So freaking good, y'all. All right, next I read another novella, which is The Layover by Katrina Jackson. This is a great quick story to read. I believe it's on Kindle Unlimited. It is about a travel blogger who is just kind of going through life and trying to figure things out for herself and struggling in a lot of ways. And she has this podcast interview with this really hot guy. They hit it off, they hook up, she vanishes, and then they come back together a little while later to be together, basically. And that was also a 4-star read. Then I read Imprisoned by K.L. Dawn, which I sadly did not enjoy. I think it's a 2-star read. It is not the worst thing I've ever read, but it just, I was missing plot points to me. Like as I read it, I felt like pieces of the world building were like yanked out in editing or something, and I just couldn't follow the story well. So this follows a girl who is coming of age, and these 2 guys show up to protect her and investigate what's going on in her little tiny like royalty village thing. And things just go from there. It's a threesome. It's kind of steamy, but kind of not as steamy as other books I've read. So that was interesting. But yeah, it just didn't work for me. I'm curious to still try more of the Sinister Fairy Tales collection, which is by various authors. This one just really, it just, you know, some stuff just doesn't work for you, and this one just really didn't work for me. Next, I read another novella, which is Agnes Moore and Her Wild Night. This is by Alyssa Cole. This is a medieval novella. This was super fun. I really enjoyed it. It was like 99 cents. I read it in a sitting, maybe an hour 15, I don't know. It was really cute, quite dirty for how short it is, and I really enjoyed the medieval setting actually. And I feel like I've not read a lot of medieval historicals, so that's also interesting. Next, I listened to Once More Upon a Time by Roshani Chachki. This is an Audible original, so you can only listen to it if you have an Audible account. What do I think of this book? Upon further reflection, it's maybe a 3-star read. I think I initially rated it as 4 stars. I had some issues with the audio because there's like these annoying transitions between chapters of like magical book turning. It was a little too tongue-in-cheek for me. Which is weird because I like funny books, but this just felt like too funny. But it's a second chance romance, and yeah, it was cute. It was cute. It was fun. I mean, you know, if you have Audible, it's free. Maybe check it out. I don't think it was as good as The AI Who Loved Me at the end of the day. Next, I read Sweet Talkin' Lover by Tracy Livesay. This was a like 4.5-4-star read, 3.5 4-star. I ended up giving it a 4. This is such a cute small town romance. I really liked it. You'll see me talking about it in some videos coming up because it's just super cute and I highly recommend it. I think that Tracy did a great job building this town and these characters in this town and making you like fall in love with them. So that's always fun. Then I read Stolen Desire by Robin Lovett, which is a book 3 in her Planet of Desire series. And this was, again, just as good as the others, a solid 4.5 star read. I don't really have a lot of comments on it beyond that. I really enjoyed it. This is a friends to lovers, I would say. And it's really good. Kind of enemies. Begrudging friends to lovers. Because it's definitely not full friends to lovers, but it is very sweet. This is about Covey and one of the girls from the system that crashed, the ship that crashed on their island, whose name I cannot remember. And it was just really fun because he like is kind of a god on their planet, and there's a lot going into him figuring out if he can be with her, and it involves the discovery of emotions that are not tied to this belief or thing in your body that says like, this is my mate and I have to be with them. So they kind of discover that they can have emotions outside of these things and like finding out what love is. And I love that. I love when they're like, oh, I don't feel so good. Oh, I must be in love. That's the best. I adore that. And this book has that. So obviously I loved it. Okay, next we have Destiny's Embrace by Beverly Jenkins. This was such a fun audiobook. I didn't love it as much as I love the Old West trilogy. I'm still excited to finish this series and read about the other 2 brothers. I think that there was a little bit of jumping from our main character being unsure of herself to overly confident with no in between. But I still really enjoyed it. It's still like a solid 3.5 stars. I think I rated a 4 on Goodreads because how do you ever rate Miss Bev as anything less than a 4? I don't know. Because all of her books have these strong-willed heroines at the end that you just adore. Okay, and then I listened to An Elderly Lady is Up to No Good by, oh no, hold on, I'm gonna butcher this. HELENE TURSTEN. This is a translated work from somewhere in Europe. I don't remember where. Anyways, this is about an old lady who is murdering people and getting away with it. And it's really amusing. I know this is a really weird combo to be like, this is funny, but it is actually pretty funny. And this is a great audiobook. I highly recommend it. You can definitely listen to it in an afternoon. It's short. These are like 4 short stories. I was very amused by this by the end of it. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. Again, I feel like I've had like a slew of good books in the last like 20 books I read. So I'm concerned about what's in my future for like the next 10 or so books I read. All right. And then the doozies. So I'm just going to group these together. Eclipse and Breaking Dawn by Stephanie Myers. These are 1-star books. I will reiterate, I am donating to 2 different tribal native funds, the Quillout tribe to move to higher ground, and then Michelle from Thor Wants Another Letter wrecked another legal defense fund to donate to, and I cannot remember the name off the top of my head. I will link it down below. I'm donating to them when Midnight Sun comes out, and I'm also going to continue to donate to them. But anyways, just saying that now because like I don't think you can revisit these books without fully realizing some of the problematic nature in them, not just around Native people, but like in Stephanie Meyer's beliefs being reflected in these books. It is rough. This was not fun. I think I liked Eclipse the most, and I think Twilight's my favorite of the 4 if I had to pick one, because honestly they're all kind of terrible. The level of like anti-choice in Breaking Dawn is like gut-wrenching, and it's really scary how quickly the book goes from the sweet YA thing to basically body horror. And like it's just gross. Like I was not here for it, and I think like we really gloss over Jasper's Confederacy time, and we kind of gloss over like a lot of issues with Rosalie and Renesmee, like, she doesn't care about Bella. Like, Bella can die because she can take this baby and live her dream of being a mother. Like, there's just a lot going on in these books, and I did not like them. The live show over on Bethany's channel is great, and I still continue to try and figure out why the venom means that vampire semen still works, but women don't ovulate. Patriarchy? Probably. I'm just saying, it's weird. Right, next I read The Library of the Unwritten by A.J. Hackworth. This was a audiobook as well. I really enjoyed it. I want to reread it. I was babysitting my nephew when I listened to this one, so I feel like I missed bits and pieces, but it still was a solid like 3.5. I think it's just a really cool concept about like this library of unwritten works in hell, and like these librarians have to protect them because the books may become like forms and wander off to go find their writers, and like that's really dangerous. I really just love this concept, so I'm excited for the sequel. It comes out this fall, and I plan to reread this and the sequel in 2021 probably. Then I did another middle grade adventure, Nevermore, The Trials of Morgan Crow by Jessica Townsend. I wanted to read this last year and I just never got around to it. So this is perfect because I think book 3 comes out this fall, so I can read book 2 soon and then go right into book 3. I'll be caught up. This is a great chosen one trope. It's a very fun, so Morgan Crow is going to be murdered on her 11th birthday because of this curse she has. Like, it's her fault all these bad things happen in town, and this means she'll be murdered, and there's a lot going on. She ends up being kidnapped kind of and taken to go do these trials to join the Wondersmith Society, and then like this is just like the setup of that. It's her going through all the trials. It's just very fun. I love, again, slightly spooky, middle grade, and adventure. I'm in. Like, I'm just in. I love these kinds of books, so this was a total blast. I gave Morgan Crow a 4 out of 5. And then I read The Adventure Zone, Petals to the Metal. This is by the McElroy family. This is based on a podcast where they play D&D or other role-playing games. This is the Balance arc, which I highly recommend. If you like storytelling and fantasy stuff, this podcast is so fun. It's bonkers, and that's like the best part of it. But I read this. This is a solid 5-star read. I love the art in these. I love the characters. This was one of my favorite arcs in the podcast, in that podcast storyline or whatever. So yeah, it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. I think this one is the best of the comics so far, with the second one being the next best. Like, they kind of are in reverse order for me of favorites. But I can't wait to see what's to come with the next one when it comes out. That is the last 20 books I read. Yeah, let me know if you've read anything you really loved recently, and if not, feel free to drop a random emoji in the comments, and I will see you soon with another video. Thanks so much for hanging out. Bye.
Really asking, we'll get away to a place where we don't know.